Hey, good morning, everybody. How's it going this morning? It looks like we have a short list here, but I kind of like it when we have a short list because less chance of me picking the wrong stock off my list. And I have like 4 or 5 to watch. I have this unique ability to pick the one that's not going to work, and all the rest of them do. So when the list is smaller, I have less chance of picking that one that's just not going to go. If I could get paid for trading the wrong stock, I'd be rich right now. But what keeps me going is the stocks that are on my watch list. Most of them work. I'd say 75-80% of them make the moves that we can make money off of. So that keeps me going. That keeps me focused, keeps my eye on the prize here. It lets me know that my process does work. There are times where you have to tweak it. The market conditions change. You just kind of have to tweak what you focus in on and what you zero in on, and that's what I've been doing. All right, so the only one that really looks good, I could quickly scan this and tell you the only one that really looks good on this ORB pre-market scan is going to be DE, but it's a little bit out of our price range. Yeah, we could trade 50 shares on it. We'd have to look at it and see, if it in fact has the room. But seeing it is, it's close to a $4 ATR. 50 shares would make sense on this. Because it is on earnings, we should trade at least twice that. So let's say we get the meat of the move, we get 4 points with 50 shares. That's $200. So that's not a bad goal. So let's take a look at DE first and see what kind of opportunities this has for us. I want to use this other chart here. I want to use this one. So that way I could see exactly where we are in the grand scheme of things. All right, so we're sitting around these levels right here now. All right. These are old markings from where the daily 20 is. See, the daily 20. I doubt if we will react to this today. 140.40. So we can change this to line up with the new 20-day EMA. So I don't think I need to go any further. If I have to, I'll come back to it later in the day. But I doubt very seriously if I have to go any further. or any higher than that. This is actually incorrect since I already have it here. 142.63. I can change this. 142.63 is the new 50. Alright, so we've got pretty good windows here. So this is, in play. Right now, looks like we're recovering this big gap down. The conference call, I think, isn't until 10 o'clock. That gives us some room for opening range trade. So, that should be pretty good. So we can put this one on our list. Let's glance over here. This is on earnings, but typically doesn't move very well. I don't really like it. And it's got less than a 20 million share float. Not the stock I would mess with. This is $2 stock. Not touching it. JWN should hit our scan here in a few. There we go. I was just waiting to get 50,000 shares traded before it hit. So let's take a look at JWN. See, we're looking for stocks in play. So if a stock doesn't have volume, then it's not really in play. There's nobody really trading it. So I like to wait for a stock to get at least 50K in volume traded pre-market. This doesn't look very good other than the fact we have a 52-week high gap. Let me change this 54.97. And we know, based on what's happened in the past, when a stock gaps like this over its 52-week high, it typically sells off that day. We may push up a little bit, but then it typically sells off. But what's different about this is if we go by our 52-week high swing trade strategy, where we look for a stock to make a 52-week high, pull back for a couple of days, and then on the next attempt, we usually get a solid break. We don't get a pullback. So this is kind of a 50-50 deal now. Had we not made a 52-week high here, had it stayed, the 52-week high stayed, somewhere back in July, then I would look for this to sell off. But right now, it's kind of a 50-50 deal. But it does have potential. Because right now, we're trading right around in here. So it does have potential to continue to push up. Let me see, what time is conference call? JWN. It doesn't say. I have to look at this thing again. All right, there we go. 8/16, 3:45. I don't know, that's weird. But we'll keep an eye on this. Right now, it doesn't look all that great because of the tight range that it's in. But if it does pick up volume and we start, the volume keeps growing here, then this may give us a chance to trade. So it's worth putting on watch. It meets all the criteria to put on watch. So we will put it on watch. All right, so let's look at the rest of these scans here. NVDA, this one is out of our price range. AMAT, this one, I was messing around with it on earnings yesterday. This was actually the chart I had up at the end of the day and at the close. But not sure how much this has left in it. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This support is where I predicted it to bounce on earnings yesterday. This 45. Remember, we're talking about this level. I think we talked about this in class. How this isn't exact, but this is around a whole dollar mark, and all of these levels are within a couple of cents. So this is where I predicted this stock would sell off to. And that's exactly what it did. It did dip below early this morning by 25 cents or so, but we have recovered and we're back above this, and it doesn't look like we're going to lose this level. It just doesn't look like it, and not sure we're going to have much room to the upside. So based on what I'm seeing here, I'm not inclined to put this one on watch. Yesterday, I think, was the money-making day on it, on earnings, and now that's it. We're looking at DE, and the rest of these just don't have any volume. This one's 24.5. This one might have 50K, but it's a $6 stock, not something I'm interested in. And you see just no volume here. Also, let's take a look at, then we'll run down the main gapper scan. And again, my first filter I'm looking at is volume. Once I see that volume, I'm going to look to the left. I'm looking at float. I'm looking at price. That's what's going to make a difference. Come down. Yeah. I already looked at that one. Yep, that's it. So, and this is what I like. I got 2 stocks on watch. So if either one of these goes, I should be able to catch it. I don't see anything else that's even close to meeting the criteria for me to put it on watch. There's nothing even remotely close right now. So I can safely say, DE and JWN are going to be my watches. So we'll see where these go. They may not give us an opening range trade. It may be secondary trade, or it may not give us anything at all, but these are the ones that I will be watching. Now, I would say AMAT would be a secondary watch under 45. but I doubt if it will get under 45. So didn't really get going on any swings this week, but we'll be back on track with them next week. We'll do our watch list session on Sunday morning. Back here at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. We do our swing trade watch list session every Sunday morning right here in chat. And we build our watch list, put a strategy together for the week. And, these scans that we cover on Sunday, you could do every week. If you want to focus on swing trading, I highly recommend you run those scans every day during the week, because you're able to be a lot more selective and you're going to find more opportunities that way. So that's what we do. But since, swing trading is like my part-time job, for me, it's my part-time job. And, it's a job, so I give it 100% focus when I'm working it. So I like to set my watch list at the beginning of the week. I don't like to get into scanning midweek, because then that would take up a little bit more time than I want to invest in it. I just want to manage and monitor my watch list for that week. And I think, I've got it down to where I should get, at least 1 or 2 hits that I could get and make some decent money on. HTHT, which I'll cover that one this weekend, or maybe when I do the video, either this evening or tomorrow. That one didn't get to my goal. I got $1 away from my target, and when the market was taking a hit, you got to get out of those. You was up. I think I was up, if I calculated it correctly. At one point, I was up over $1,000, but had to cover for some peanuts. Not cover, but sell for some peanuts when the market was taking a dump on us. So you got to stay in tune with the market as well. You don't watch them tick for tick, but you got to stay in tune with the market. So kind of just as I thought, we're coming up on the 9 o'clock hour. That's when I set my watch list. It's set in stone at 9 o'clock. So I give it till 9 in case something else pops up. I have a chance to vet it, see if it does meet my criteria. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't make my watch. But I like to have my watch list done and set by 9 o'clock so I can sit back and watch it going into the open. That gives me a real good indication of how it's going to trade at the open. Now more and more people are trading pre-market. We're starting to see more pre-market moves, and that works out great. All right, selling. Last day. Enjoy yourself. All right, so it is official. Watching DE and JWN. So we'll sit back this 30 minutes going into the open, take a look and see which one is going to open up and seemingly give us the best opportunity.